Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your February 2016 reading. I continue to use the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. As I always say, these are general readings, so if they do not apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches, I suggest you check your rising and your moon sign as well. For those of you who are interested in personal readings, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more information and detail on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information. And you can email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. And I always remember to give a special thank you to those of you who keep me so busy with personal readings. I know I say at the beginning of every video that it is an honor and a pleasure, but it truly is. Thank you to those of you who have been reaching out to me for those. And thank you to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel and my videos. Your feedback and your comments have been so positive. Thank you so very much for that. I am working very hard to get all the February videos out by Monday, but it may be a day or two later than that as I am recording these at the end of January, and I am also in the moving process this weekend, which, as those of you who have moved know, can be quite chaotic. So for those of you who may have to wait a day or two for your signs video to come out, thank you so much for your patience in that. I am still running yearly overviews and outlooks for 2016 in the form of 60 and 90-minute readings. So if you're interested in those, you can email me or message me directly on YouTube. And since we are going into February, that means Valentine's Day, and it is a month that we tend to focus a little more on love and relationships than other months. So I am also running a variety of specials on love readings for that month. So again, if you're interested in those, please feel free to contact me. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Scorpio for February 2016. Scorpio, February 2016. My little singers, my sometimes quiet and very intense Scorpios. What does the month of February 2016 hold for you? Scorpio, February 2016. Okay. We begin with the Nine of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Page of Swords, the Judgment card, followed by the Nine of Swords, and the Page of Wands, followed by the Knight of Cups. And as your overall theme, I pull a card from the bottom of the month, and we have the Ace of Cups. So let's put this together, Scorpio. Looks like a very intense month for you. Okay. So we begin with the Nine of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords. The Nine of Pentacles. Pentacles, the element is that of earth, and Pentacles is a suit that points towards things in our physical, tangible, grounded, earthly environment. Typically things like money, finances, resources, property, assets, job, career. It shows a person she's standing in her backyard, although this could also represent a man, it's an individual, who is enjoying the luxury and abundance that is all around her, as evidenced by all of these lovely pentacles growing on the tree. She's dressed in a very luxurious gown. It's a beautiful day. She's holding is that a peacock or a beautiful parrot on her hand. It shows her just having kind of a quiet moment on her property, just surrounded by things that make her physical and tangible environment very comfortable and very reassuring. And this speaks towards a person who's worked very hard for everything that they've gotten that they're currently enjoying around them. This is somebody who's had very little, if anything, offered to them on a silver platter. Everything that is around them that they are working for, that they are enjoying, they have worked very hard for, and they have gotten by dint of their own hard work, their own efforts, and their own talents. This points towards a person, and she's obviously enjoying it. And the Pentacles would also point towards just a very quiet, solid sense of continuity and stability and of rootedness. And this card can point towards either having the clear opportunity in front of you to obtain the kind of success that encompasses more than just the tangible world. It's about spiritual, emotional, mental, and financial gains that benefit you in a tangible way when someone has learned to combine their wisdom with their love in a way that doing what they love achieves success for them on a variety of levels. And if this card had a question attached to it, it would be whether you are doing that or not, or if you're at a place, Scorpio, either at the end of January 2016 or going into February 2016. If this is not something you are currently experiencing, it may be something that you're considering, particularly when it's paired with the Two of Swords, which is a card of choice. Um, it's about it's about that. It's about pairing the wisdom and experience of doing what you're good at with your love, meaning pairing what you do in your physical, tangible world with something that has heart and has a deeper meaning for you, which always means success on a variety of different levels other than just financial and abundance. And it looks like this individual has reached that. Now, it is paired with the Two of Swords, which I consider one of the major, if not the major, choice cards in the tarot deck. Swords, the element is that of air, and swords points towards, it's a suit that points towards our thoughts, our ways of thinking, our ideas, our perspectives, our reasoning, our logic. It's a mental and cerebral suit, and it's about the way that we look at things and the way that we think. Now you see the woman in this card has two swords crossed in front of her, representing two different sets of ideas and two different clear paths. It represents having to make a choice of some kind. And she's blindfolded, and it points towards being at a place where you feel you're stuck. There's a decision that needs to be made, something that needs to be dealt with, but you can't quite see your way through it because you have this blindfold over your eyes. However, there's an air of complicity, of compliance in this card as well. Whether or not whatever the subject is that you're considering, that there's a choice in front of you that needs to be made, something that needs to be dealt with, and paired with this Nine of Pentacles, it looks like it may be something that has to do perhaps with job or career or finances, something to do with perhaps leaving something that a path that you've been on that's been stable and secure and conventional and expected, and looking towards doing something different, something that you find perhaps more fulfilling in a heart level sort of way. This card can point to being kind of stuck in that decision, but this blindfold, as I was saying, has a theme of compliance with it. Whether you or somebody else originally maybe put this blindfold on or closed off to something for some reason, you're the one that can take it off, and you have the freedom and the power to be able to do that. Swords, again, points towards our thoughts. And whatever this is that you are afraid to look at or unwilling to look at or have been up to now unwilling to deal with, this card has come up for you this month, Scorpio. And it looks like this is the month to actually make the decision, take the blindfold off, look at whatever it is that you haven't been willing to look at, and make a decision. And it looks like it has something to do with pairing your tangible world, perhaps again what it is you do for a living, or something that affects your tangible physical environment, and pairing it with something that causes you to something that makes it have more meaning for you. And it feels like Scorpio either ending the month of January or going into the beginning of February. It looks like you're entering that in kind of a contemplative sort of state. You're considering making a decision about doing something. You feel kind of stuck. And the feeling that I'm getting, Scorpio, is that there's something that needs to be dealt with, something you need to look at, but for some reason you've been unwilling or unable to look at, and I feel like there's some kind of fear and anxiety attached to this, quite strong fear and anxiety. It's almost as if you remove this blindfold, if you take a clear look at what it is in front of you, the truth of what you see is going to propel you to make a decision that for some reason leading up to now you felt unable or unwilling to be able to make. It is paired with the Nine of Pentacles, which can suggest it has something to do again with job or career or something under that realm. But again, this could resonate differently for some people because there are some elements of love and emotional beginnings as well. So let's move on to the second week. We have the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Page of Swords. Again, another combination of swords and pentacles. So perhaps for a larger portion of you, this is going to represent the consideration of making a rather drastic career switch or making a decision that takes you away from something that you've been doing that has felt very secure and grounded because you have the opportunity to do something that has more meaning and more purpose for you somehow. I'm just kind of getting that, however that resonates for those of you watching. So in the second week, we have the Two of Pentacles, which again is something of another choice card, but it also comes from, and directly following this Two of Swords, we're going right into the Two of Pentacles. And I feel like this choice, whatever it is that you're considering doing, um, the Two of Pentacles can represent, it's a card that also represents duality, juggling between two things. It can mean literally juggling two things or being involved in so many things. You just feel like you're juggling everything. It can point to imbalance. And the implication being that at some point this man's going to have to let one of these pentacles fall and focus on the other one. It also represents solutions coming by trusting your own gut instinct and trusting your own tuition. And I think directly following this coupling of Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, it's a very strong piece of advice about whatever this decision is, whether it is about something tangible like job or whether it's about a relationship or some kind of new beginning. It represents leaving a path that you're on that's very secure and comfortable and conventional and expected of you by other people is also a message I'm getting. But the Two of Pentacles suggests that you're going to find the solution to this by looking within and trusting your own instinct, trusting your own intuition about what's good and right for you. You know what's best for you. You know what decision you need to make in order to put you in a place where you feel like you're being true to yourself and being authentic, which is also kind of echoing what the Nine of Pentacles represents as well. The individual in this Nine of Pentacles has achieved or has the option to achieve the kind of unified joy that she's at right now because she has paired what she does or how she lives her day-to-day life with something that gives her, doing something that gives her, that comes from the heart and gives her life more meaning and more purpose and makes her feel fulfilled in a very whole sort of way. And the Two of Pentacles is advice that points towards trusting your instinct because if you go within, you're going to know what choice to make. And that holds true for the majority of us in almost 99% of the situations we come across, regardless of what flashes in front of our face or what our fears are. When we go within, we typically know which is the right path to choose. And the Two of Pentacles, again, points to trusting that inner knowing and that intuition to be able to do it. And it looks like Scorpio, that in the first half of the month you're kind of struggling a bit because there's some reason why you don't really want to look at it, or you don't want to really reveal what your intuition is telling you, because it almost feels like then you feel like you're going to be forced by your own ethics to actually make a decision. But the Two of Pentacles is suggesting that you trust your instinct in this. Now, the Page of Swords, represents, again, it can represent pages can represent young people or actual children in your life, but I most often see them as the messengers that they also are. And I feel, again, like this is just kind of telling a story in chronological order as it's playing out, Scorpio, that this represents, that this card represents kind of being faced with this challenge of some kind. And the Page of Swords, swords also not just being a suit that points towards, our reasoning and our logic and our ways of thinking. But swords are also one of the universal symbols of truth. And the Page of Swords would be bringing a challenging sort of situation, but also implying that the solution lies in your own honor and your own integrity. Again, it's just kind of it's like the cards echoing upon each other. The Two of Pentacles, this Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Swords being afraid to look at something, but the Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles strongly suggesting that if you go within and you really take a look, and trust your own intuition and your own gut instinct, you're going to know. The Page of Swords is bolstering and fostering that even further by saying that this decision really has something to do with your own sense of honor and integrity, and staying true to yourself and being authentic is kind of the phrases that keep repeating in my head. Whatever this decision is, whatever you're considering doing, but it feels like you're stuck because you're just not willing to look at it clearly. It says that you already know which is the right path to take by going within, trusting your intuition, but above all, staying honest with yourself, being true to yourself, and maintaining a sense of personal integrity. Personal integrity meaning that what you do and what you say match, which is what that Nine of Pentacles individual does. It is a more transparent card that what she thinks and what she feels, she's brought them all together to manifest this success in her life. And the Page of Swords calls for you to do that, but there's a very strong theme about honesty and personal integrity, and I feel that's pointing towards being true to yourself and being authentic to yourself. And it feels like there's quite a bit of struggle going on for you in the month of February, Scorpio, and it feels like this internal struggle is based on how you think this decision is going to be received, or how it's going to be looked at somehow is what I'm feeling. Now going into the third week, and also the other thing I'd like to point out too is the Page of Swords also represents being at that crossroads and being at that place of deliberation and choice, and also it can be quite a solitary place. And I had a similar reading for one of the signs for this last month as well. Although I don't think it was you, Scorpio. When we find ourselves at that crossroads where we really have to make a very important decision, uh, while we may have people that are supporting us and have our back, so to speak, it can be a very lonely place to be in. And I also feel that coming in quite strongly too, that it feels like you're struggling with this and you're struggling alone, because in that moment of decision, of course, nobody can really be there with us to make it for us. So I'm also kind of getting that too, just a feeling of being kind of solitary in this. Now, going into the third week, we have the Major Arcana card of of Judgment in the upright position, and I might add all of your cards are in the upright position. And Judgment is accompanied by the Nine of Swords. And again, I'm just getting this very strong feeling that the biggest reason you're having a struggle making this is because of how you think it's going to be seen or perceived or received by people whose opinions are important to you or are significant in your life. The Judgment card is a call to action, a very strong one. The Judgment card also speaks of to be very thoughtful and very methodical, very thoughtful in considering what's laying in front of you. The Judgment card is a pretty serious choice card, and it talks about being careful and being thoughtful about this decision that you make, because it looks like it's going to be a very profound, life-changing decision or path that you veer off of to go on something new. And the Judgment card points towards the effects and the consequences of this decision being there's an air of finality about it and resolution about it, and that whatever path you choose and whatever decision you make, the consequences are going to be pretty final and irreversible. So to be very thoughtful and very considerate in how you make the decision, try and look at everything, all the information, and again, honor and integrity and being true to yourself. For some reason, this message keeps echoing in my head, Scorpio. This decision needs to be based on your own intuition about what you know to be right and true and authentic for you on this path, because you're the one that's going to have to live with it, and the consequences are going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to come from. So be very thoughtful about doing that and choose a path that's going to serve you best, and it's going to combine uh, it's going to hold true for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically as well. Now, the Judgment card is paired with the Nine of Swords, which is the card of staying up late at night, your thoughts keeping you up late at night, if not actually physically, then just having this choice, this worry, this concern, this anxiety kind of battering on you every minute of the day. This card shows a woman who is sitting up in bed. She's kind of hunched over and she's just really intensely focused on something. There's a very strong air of worry and concern and anxiety. You can see from the weather, from the environment outside, that it's late at night. The moon has risen in the sky, and there are these nine swords all crossed and pointing at or down at her, representing her thoughts. And the feeling that I'm getting is of circular thinking, thoughts going around and around and around. Just a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety that perhaps is keeping you up late at night. However, if you look, there is an owl sitting on the windowsill there in her room, but she's not noticing it. She's not looking at it. And it implies that there's something right there in front of her, a solution, some clarity, some insight that she's not looking at for some reason. She's either unwilling or unable to. And owls, and I say a piece of wisdom or insight or clarity, some kind of solution. Owls are one of those universal symbols of wisdom. Even in the children's storybooks of Winnie the Pooh, the owl was always the wise one that Christopher Robin and everyone went to seek out advice. Owls imply a certain amount of wisdom, and it's sitting on the windowsill so very, very close to her, speaks towards there being a solution and being an answer, and it's right there. All she has to do is look at it, open her eyes, take off this blindfold, and she's going to know what the answer is, what the solution is. So Scorpio, paired with the Judgment card, I really feel like this this whole process feels like it's very difficult for you, like there's a real internal struggle, a lot of thoughts going around and around in your head, almost a sense of mental torture. But that the answer is right there, the solution is right there. All you have to do is look. All you have to do is take the blindfold off, go within, trust your own intuition. I think it's pretty much going to scream at you the minute that you do that, and you're going to know which path is right. The difficulty in making decisions of this magnitude that will have what appears to be such a profound effect only last until we make the decision ourselves. The agony of it comes from the indecision, from being at that crossroads where we're not sure what to do yet, or we probably do know, but we're not quite willing to fully look at it yet. And I think that the biggest source of concern and anxiety, and I don't know why I'm reading it this way, but I'm feeling very strongly that the biggest source of concern and worry and stress for you is somehow connected with how you think that other people are going to look at you or receive this information, which which may mean that what you're considering doing or the path that you know is right, that you really do want to take, is one that other people are going to view as out of character for you somehow, or perhaps risky, or something that you feel the people around you, particularly the ones whose opinion you care about or will affect you the most, there's some sense of worry that they're going to disapprove, there's going to be a disapproval and just a lot of fallout from it. Again, I don't know why I'm getting that, but it's a very loud message that that's one of your biggest, if not the biggest source of concern over making this decision, is how you feel it's going to be seen by other people, people that play a significant role in your life. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Page of Wands, followed by the Knight of Cups. Now, the Page of Wands, it's kind of interesting, and I actually feel, Scorpio, that in spite of the struggle and because of the struggle, because sometimes that's what helps us grow and elevate to the next level as human beings, I think at the end of the day, you're going to stay true to yourself and you're going to come through this thing. The Page of Wands can represent starting life over again, taking control of your own life and your own destiny, and having the creativity and the intuition with which to do it. Again, pages can represent young people or children in your life, but just like with the other page, I feel this is a messenger. This is news of some kind. And wands, the element is that of air and fire. And when you think of air and fire together, there's a lot of heat and passion and movement and change and power. And that's what the suit of wands points to. Also, creativity and intuition. It can be a suit that points towards our careers as well. So again, perhaps for a large portion of you, because we do have a couple of pentacles in this reading as well, although we do have a couple of cups too. So again, it's going to resonate differently for different people. For some of you, it's going to represent a change and a shift in something to do with your job or your career, and for others, it may represent a decision you're struggling to make about a new relationship, or perhaps leaving someone for somebody else, although I'm not seeing much that really points to that, or perhaps making the decision to begin a relationship or reveal a relationship that you feel for some reason people around you are going to disapprove of. So the Page of Wands represents getting news and information, or giving news and information, um, that's going to be very, just very action oriented. There's just a lot of heat and passion and new beginnings associated with this card. And I feel particularly combined with the Knight of Cups that this coupling represents that. There's some kind of new, creative, exciting, passionate new beginning in your life. And I think it's as a result of having gone through all this struggle that you do at the end of the day stay true to yourself. You make this decision, and it propels you into this new beginning, into this new path where you almost literally, the feeling I'm getting is you're almost literally starting your life over again. You're taking control of your own life, your own destiny, and the manifestation of that. With and again, I'm getting a clean slate, and that could also be connected to the Judgment card in the upright position, as it's right next to the Judgment card. You answer this call to action. You do it with honor and integrity. You stay true to yourself, and you have this fabulous new beginning. I'm getting just a sense of rebirth, starting your life over again with a clean slate, and that you're going to have all the creativity and intuition with which to do so, as the Page of Wands would be bringing. Now, it's paired with the Knight of Cups. And so the two of these paired together can also represent a relationship that's going to be very, very profound. The Knight of Cups being a very passionate and dreamy, romantic, loving sort of individual. And Knights usually are the ones that come in with a fair amount of speed. They're the bringers of the tarot. When you think about the role of knights in the medieval world, they were always the ones sent out on missions and quests to retrieve a lost relic or slay a dragon or something equally as intense. And they were typically very driven individuals, very focused, very honorable, very loyal, very single-minded and focused, because they were the knights when they had a mission or quest. That's what they were sent out to do, and they were very focused and single-minded about that. This would be a very intense individual, and for some of you, this is going to resonate as a relationship. For some of you, the struggle has been over maybe choosing a relationship or beginning a relationship that for some reason you've struggled with the decision because you have some rather large concerns about how it's going to be received or how it's going to be looked at, but at the end of the day, it looks like you do just that. For those of you for whom this represents a new job or career path, it looks like it's one that's going to be tremendously exciting and be moving very, very fast, and there's going to be just a lot of passion and creativity along with it as well. The only cautionary bit of advice to this would be to not get completely bowled over, and before you jump in the pool, just make sure there's enough water in there to kind of catch you. So that's kind of a pretty interesting reading, Scorpio. It looks very intense. It looks like whatever this decision is, it's a pretty major life-changing one, and the effects of it, of whatever it is that happens, the outcome is going to be pretty lasting and pretty profound. Again, just a real life changer. So a very intense sort of month for the very intense Scorpios. Now, the cards that you have for the overall theme and general feeling of the month is the Ace of Cups, which is your crowning card. It's the umbrella over this reading, and it fits perfectly. This is a card that represents new beginnings that are very emotional, new emotional beginnings. And for some of you, this reading is going to resonate as this new relationship, as this new love that you were so afraid of how it's going to be received. But at the end of the day, you're like, I just have to stay true. I have to follow my heart, which is really what this reading is about. And you have this lovely new relationship that you begin, or a relationship that has already begun that you decide to reveal to the world, i.e., your life and the people in your life. And for others, this is just going to represent new emotional beginnings as you begin a new path in job or career, or perhaps something related to that that feels more right to you, that connects you on all levels and pairs what you do to make a living in your day-to-day life with something that you feel has meaning and purpose and involves your heart as well. Um, you know, cups, the element is that of water, and it's a suit that points towards our emotions, our emotional landscape. And aces represent new beginnings, the seeds of new beginnings, the promise and potential of wonderful, wonderful things to come, our heart growing and expanding. Now, seeds are still only seeds, and beginnings are just beginnings. Seeds have to be planted in the ground. The ground has to be right, and they have to be fed and watered and nurtured so they can grow to beautiful fruition. But it looks like the promise and the potential of that is pretty huge for you this month, Scorpio. So what an incredible, intense, and lovely reading for you, and one I think that kind of suits your personality, and one I think you're well up for the challenge, Scorpio. It looks like you struggle for quite a bit in the first half of the month, perhaps the majority of the month, but it looks at the end of the day that staying true to yourself, staying true to who you are, put yourself on the path always that authenticates you on all levels, spiritual, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And it looks like that's going to glean you great success and new wonderful new beginnings for you. So, Scorpio, how exciting, and I'm interested to see how this may resonate for those of you who feel comfortable with sharing. I do have a number of people who do share with me every month how the readings resonate with them, and I try to respond to most, if not all of them, but even if I don't, I read all of them, and I do very much appreciate and look forward to reading those. So please feel free to continue or to begin doing that. So, Scorpio, I hope this reading resonated with you, or at least gave you a little bit of insight and clarity on the path to come. If you're interested in a personal reading, again, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage or email me at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you during the mid-month readings. I will have a different background by then as my move will be completed. And as I always say, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Scorpio, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Bye-bye.